You wake up hungry. That's what scares you. Not the snow outside, not the freezing wind, not even the darkness, the hunger. Because somewhere inside your house, there's a pile of food that has to last until spring. And every meal you eat makes that pile smaller. Right now, you think you have enough. Most medieval families thought the same thing. Many of them were wrong. And before this winter ends, you'll discover exactly why. You pull yourself from beneath a rough wool blanket. The air immediately bites your skin. Your breath drifts through the darkness, inside your own home, because your home isn't warm, not really. A medieval house keeps some of the weather out, but not much. The wooden walls creak as icy winds push against them. Tiny cracks let cold air slip inside. Snow sometimes finds its way through too. The floor feels frozen. The walls feel frozen. Even your bed feels frozen. And winter has only just begun. Outside, dawn slowly reveals the countryside. Everything is white. The fields are dead. The trees stand bare. The roads have disappeared beneath snow and ice. Nothing is growing. Nothing is being harvested. Nothing fresh is coming. Everything you eat from now on depends on what was stored months ago. That means every meal is part of a countdown, a food clock. And every day, that clock moves closer to zero. Breakfast is simple. Dark bread, a little cheese, maybe some preserved vegetables, nothing more. Fresh fruit is gone. Fresh meat is rare. Fresh anything is almost impossible. As you chew your bread, you do the same calculation everyone else is doing. How much food can you afford to eat today without starving later? Nobody knows. That's what makes winter terrifying. It's a gamble, and nobody knows the final score until spring arrives. At first, the cold feels like your biggest enemy. It isn't, because the cold can only weaken you. Hunger can finish the job. Days pass. The temperature drops. Your house never truly warms up. A fire burns all day, yet somehow, you still feel cold. Most of the heat escapes through the roof. The fire demands constant fuel, and fuel means work. Every day you search for firewood. Every day you haul it home. Every day you wonder if there's enough. Because running out of food is dangerous, but running out of firewood can kill you much faster. The snow grows deeper. The roads become harder to travel. Even simple tasks become exhausting. A short walk feels like a journey. A bundle of wood feels twice as heavy. And winter is only getting started. Then something happens. A storm arrives. The wind screams across the countryside. Snow crashes against the walls. Visibility disappears. The world outside vanishes. You stay indoors and listen. The roof groans. The walls shake. The storm lasts for hours, maybe days. You think about travelers trapped outside. People who left home and never returned. People found months later when the snow melted, frozen exactly where they fell. And suddenly, your little house feels safer. But safety is an illusion, because another threat is already waiting inside. Disease. The air inside the house is thick with smoke. Animals often stay close to people. Everyone breathes the same stale air. Everyone coughs. Everyone shares the same space. And winter creates the perfect conditions for sickness. Your body is already weaker. You're eating less. You're getting less sunlight. You're constantly cold. An infection that would be inconvenient today could be deadly in medieval Europe. And there's nobody coming to save you. No doctor. No antibiotics. No emergency room. Only hope. Weeks pass. The days become shorter. Darkness arrives early. The nights seem endless. Most of life happens by candlelight, and candles are expensive. Sometimes darkness is simply cheaper. Long nights create strange thoughts. Stories spread around fires. Stories about wolves. Stories about spirits. Stories about things moving through the forest after midnight. You laugh during the day, but at night, those stories don't seem quite so ridiculous. Then January arrives, and everything changes. Food stores are shrinking faster than expected. The bread becomes smaller. The soup becomes thinner. Every meal feels less satisfying than the one before. Children begin crying from hunger. Adults pretend they aren't hungry. Everyone lies, because admitting the truth doesn't create more food. This is the moment medieval families feared. Not the first snowfall, not the first freeze. January.
Because now the food clock is impossible to ignore.
You count sacks, you count barrels, you count every remaining piece of food. And for the first time, you begin wondering if spring will arrive before starvation does. Your strength slowly fades. Tasks that once felt easy become exhausting. Your muscles ache, your joints hurt, your hands crack and bleed. Even standing up feels harder. But survival doesn't care. The work still has to be done. Every day. Every single day. And then comes the worst realization of all. Winter isn't even over yet. February arrives. Food stores continue shrinking. And suddenly, you face a choice. A terrible choice. The kind of choice medieval families dreaded. Stored nearby is seed grain, the grain intended for spring planting. If you eat it now, you might survive winter. But if you survive winter, you may have nothing to plant. No harvest, no future food, no recovery. Eat it and risk destroying next year. Save it and risk starving before spring. There is no good answer, only different forms of disaster. Some families choose one path, others choose another. Many never discover whether they made the right choice, because winter keeps taking, and taking, and taking. Then something unexpected happens. The weather warms. Snow begins to melt. For the first time in months, hope returns. Maybe winter is ending. Maybe you've survived. Maybe spring is close. Birds begin appearing. Water starts flowing. Tiny patches of earth emerge beneath the snow. Everything feels better, for a moment. But medieval people knew better, because false spring can be cruel. Melting snow turns roads into rivers of mud. Travel becomes harder. Stored food spoils faster. Buildings become damp. And when temperatures suddenly drop again, everything freezes harder than before. The brief relief often creates new problems. Winter isn't finished yet. It's simply changing tactics. But eventually, after what feels like an eternity, something changes for real. The sun stays longer. The air softens. The snow retreats. Day by day, the world slowly wakes up. Spring has finally arrived. And somehow, you're still alive. You survived. But survival came with a cost. You're thinner, weaker, exhausted. Your clothes fit differently. Your body feels older. Many people around you never made it this far. Some died from illness. Some died from hunger. Others died from accidents that modern people would barely consider dangerous. And that's the truth about medieval winter. It wasn't one giant disaster. It wasn't one dramatic storm. It was hundreds of small battles. Cold, hunger, disease, fear, isolation, exhaustion, one after another, every day, every meal, every breath, slowly wearing people down until spring finally arrived, or didn't. And if you woke up in medieval Europe tomorrow morning, you'd discover the same thing millions of people learned the hard way. Surviving winter was never guaranteed.